Hello everyone, back from TIFF with another review for you. Last year, Anora won the Palme d'Or. This year, the Palme d'Or winner went to Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident. So this was a must-see for us at TIFF.
Oh, absolutely.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with Jafar Panahi, he is known not only as one of the greatest Iranian filmmakers, directors, but he is also known internationally as just one of the greatest of all times, would you say?
Absolutely. Sean Baker, who won last year, as you mentioned earlier, he's known to be a humanist filmmaker, and so is Panahi. If you remember last year, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, that was directed by Iranian director Mohammad Rasulov, and Panahi has faced similar hardships. He's been imprisoned, banned from working. In 2023, while imprisoned, Panahi went on a hunger strike until he was released. So filmmaking isn't just an outlet of expression for many Iranian filmmakers, it's an act of resistance.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
He's still making movies. And like much of Panahi's work, which often uses like this documentary style to create portraits of everyday Iranians or the Iranian life, It Was Just an Accident is more of a comedic thriller or dark comedy. The story follows a group of citizens who enact a plan of revenge against a man that they believe was their torturer once.
If you were to watch the trailer for this movie, I think you would think that this was going to be a very taut, sweat-inducing thriller. However, It Was Just an Accident is much more of a moral drama that explores the ethics surrounding vengeance in ways that are thrilling and surprisingly funny. And one film that came to mind while watching this was 12 Angry Men. And while these two films are completely day and night different, what they share is their interest in showing a spectrum of all these different characters and the depths of their anger. And through dialogue, they explore these moral conundrums.
Also, I think what gives this film the gripping level of anxiety is the same stuff that is also really darkly funny. Basically, the comedy ensues when I think they're, debating and trying to figure out if this person is actually the person they think it is, the person that they suspect of committing the crime of torture. And actually, the title, It Was Just an Accident, partly references how this entire event started with a car accident. Just by happenstance, the victim of the torture, the main character, recognizes his torturer by
a squeaky leg.
A squeaky leg, yeah. Of all things.
And after capturing his torturer, the ethics surrounding the revenge gets very blurred as he starts having severe doubts about whether this was, in fact, the man.
And from my understanding, Panahi's definitely pulled from his own experience being imprisoned by the Iranian government and sorting through his own anger and desire for revenge and whether or not the act of revenge would even bring him closure or only elongate his suffering.
I think I even read an article where he got a lot of stories from people he was imprisoned with. And I really love Panahi's screenplay here. I think the dialogue is super sharp. The film is not overly plotted. Its focus is on these characters, their experiences, and just their different points of views. And I was really impressed with how the story completely works as a comedy that grows so increasingly absurd. This movie is funny. However, the tone shifts occasionally into drama, often reminding you of the real trauma and pain that these characters do live with.
One of the few Panahi films that we've seen is Taxi, which blends the line of fiction and nonfiction, documentary and narrative that somehow embody the politics and the entire spirit of Iran through a series of cab conversations. He's a cab driver. And similarly, It Was Just an Accident shares that same sense of humor that focuses on the resilience of everyday Iranians who vary in their belief systems but are bonded and united by their trauma. They're trauma bonded.
The performances, which I believe are mostly non-professional actors in this film due to the restrictions that Panahi is working around, I thought the actors were fantastic. A standout for me was, and I'm going to butcher a lot of these names, so apologies, but Ibrahim Azizi, who plays the man who's referred to as Jughead. He's the kind of the possible villain of the story. He really had me kind of going back and forth with this character a lot. Muhammad El Yasmir, has great comic timing in this film. He's also the one who serves as the one who has the most thirst for revenge. However, it was a scene with Miriam Afshari, who plays the wedding photographer in the film, she has an absolutely standout moment in the film. I thought was really emotional, really heart-wrenching. So yeah, those were probably the standouts of the cast, but everyone was really great.
Yeah, it's a really great ensemble. The comedy really shines when they're all together, when they're all stuffed in that little van.
Panahi shoots the film through these often long lens shots of characters that will be standing in open landscapes. Waiting for Godot is actually mentioned in this film, and Panahi's choice of having these long interrupted shots kind of feels like you're watching a play. And it's pretty impressive, even with the intense efforts of the Iranian government who's trying to restrict his filmmaking, he's still able to express himself. And Panahi's wit and his storytelling, it's so sharp, it's personal, and it's inspiring seeing this artist kind of persevere in such a masterful way. And yeah, I'm really eager to go back and fill in some of my blind spots of his filmography. I know I've always wanted to see his breakout film, The White Balloon. It's on the Criterion Channel. It'll be one of my first watches for sure when I continue my Criterion membership, when I have money. Ultimately, yeah, I mean, when I stack up my favorite films from TIFF, this one definitely stands out amongst as one of them. And I didn't mention the film's ending because I want people to come to their own conclusions, but it gave me goosebumps and really brought the film together in a way that I thought was really powerful. So I'm going to go with an 8.
Yeah, I agree. The ending really makes a strong statement and it really catches you off guard. It mostly plays like a dark comedy overall. Panahi has such a great sense of humor, though, that often I feel like that disarms you. Then the ending comes in and the seriousness of everything settles in and leaves you rather stunned, I would say. I highly recommend watching this film. I'm also at an 8 out of 10.
All right, but let's talk about Oscars. So as we know, international films always have an uphill battle to crack that Best Picture lineup, but it's slowly becoming more inclusive. Usually there's like one slot designated to foreign language films, but last year we had 2. The biggest advantage that It Was Just an Accident has that The Seed of the Sacred Fig didn't have last year, for example, is that Palme d'Or win. 5 of the last 6 winners of the Palme d'Or went on to be nominated for Best Picture, including last year's Anora, won the Palme d'Or, then obviously won Best Picture. So in my guesstimation, I don't think this has the same kind of impact that Anatomy of a Fall had. I do think It Was Just an Accident stands a good solid chance still to snag a Best Picture nomination. Certainly a Best International Film nomination is pretty much a lock. I think the biggest challenge is that there's another film at Cannes that kind of took the wind out of its sails a bit, and that was Sentimental Value, also Neon's. Again, 2 foreign language films are starting to become more popular in Best Picture, but Neon also has No Other Choice, which picked up Best International at TIFF over this film. So
yeah, Neon's killing it with the...
Oh my god. And Neon also has Brazil's Secret Agent.
Wow.
So they've got a full slate. So Neon is stuck with that predicament of choosing which one they want to prioritize. So in order, I would say international, screenplay, and picture. And then there's a chance that Panahi gets nominated for director as well. But that would be, in my opinion, the film's Oscar prospects. Realistically, I think we're looking at about 2 to 3 Oscar nominations. It's difficult to imagine Neon getting 4 films in Best Picture. So that's why I kind of feel like It Was Just an Accident is on that cusp. But hey, there's always a first, and who's to say that Neon can't have an incredible year in getting 3 in? So yeah, I need your guys' help. What do you guys think? Do you think It Was Just an Accident will score Best Picture nomination? Also, let me know what you thought about the film.
We have a few more reviews coming, if you can believe it or not. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you at the Oscars.
And a TIFF.